17 years ago, and he was one of the first disciples, first one to ordain by the chief abbot of Amarati Center, which is Ajahn Sumano. And since then, he has completed 17 masters, and he follows the Ajahn Chah's forest tradition. So Ajahn Sumano tells me that he is a forest monk, and he stays in a cave in northeast Thailand. And at the moment, he has just finished Vasa in Penang, Balik Pulau, if I'm not mistaken, Balik Pulau, right? And he's been giving talks in Singapore, Penang, and finally now in KL itself. And he's also involved in translating Ajahn Chah's books, or as many as he can, or when it comes out, when they discover a new book that's written by Ajahn Chah. So tonight he will be giving half an hour presentation, playing this video, and he tells me also that he produces one video per year, because he is the biggest television, biggest producer in Thailand, produces shows, sponsors him to do such prepare video shows. So tonight he'll be giving us a half an hour presentation, and he will also explain the show itself. I think that's about all the information I have. So I would like to invite Ajahn Sumano to start giving us the talk.
I'm quite inspired by that introduction. Can everyone hear me? First, I'd like to say how delighted I am to be here tonight, to share this opportunity of being in the Dhamma, teaching of the Buddha, the path to wisdom, the path of compassion. I always feel a great deal of joy in my heart to be with people, like-minded people who aspirations are so high, people whose minds are so evolved that this teaching is something that's very, very important in their life. The teachings of the Buddhas are not for everybody. The way we've been doing these programs has been that we would have a video, and then there would be a talk, then there would be a guided meditation, and then question and answers. But this evening we're going to be squeezed a bit for time, so I think we'll have to edit some of this. We make sure we don't lose any of the quality of this evening. But I think I'll introduce a little bit of this tape we're going to see. I'll ask Venerable Chow Ho, who's come here to assist me. He's been my right-hand man as we've traveled about, to fast forward the tape, and when the introduction that I will give to this senior monk comes on, so that we make sure that we have kind of give you a little bit of everything we have to offer tonight. So this tape that I brought with me is a tape that recently was produced, recently arrived in Malaysia, hasn't been shown anywhere else. It was made to commemorate the 84th birthday of probably the most famous monk in Thailand. His name is Panyananda Bhikkhu. In Thailand, he's on television quite often, and he's a person who receives the king very often. Well, not only does he meet and offer advice and guidance to the very wealthy and the well-known in the political circles, but he's also a person who goes out to every corner of the country to help support the sasana, help support the religion, even in the smallest villages. He's been doing this for 50, 60 years now. Personally, I see him as a sort of a Theravada Buddhist saint. He's also somebody who I seem to have a karmic relationship with. I've known him for a very long time. About the time I ordained, I met him. The actual number of my reigns is 14. I was a novice and a 10 precept, what we call white monk, Pakao, for 2 and 3 years, and so totally it's been 17 years in the forest tradition of Ajahn. But getting back to the video, we'll show this video. A little bit of a background on it is, as I said, I wanted to make a tape of him while he still has the energy at 84. He's still teaching all the time. There'll be a lot of interest in his birthday this year, because he and Ajahn Buddhadasa were older and younger brother in the robes, and when Ajahn Buddhadasa had his 84th birthday, it was a very big thing too, or 80th birthday, one of those. But the 84th birthday is the 7th cycle of the 12-year cycle, of the 7th completion of the 12-year cycle. So many people, many companies will do videos of them, and they'll be on television and that kind of way. But it won't be done as I intended to do it, with the intention of being able to present this monk as a teacher, not as a sort of a celebrity, as somebody who is a very extraordinary human being. And here in the twilight of his life, somebody who's lived such an impeccable, harmless life for so long. So I would like people to have an opportunity to see a human being who's lived so long without causing any harm anywhere. His life has become so pure that everywhere he goes, he just radiates goodness and kindness. We'll start the tape with the first scene, of course, which will be the ordination of a Thai nun. Thai nuns take 8 precepts, and they wear white. There are no seminaries or bhikshunis in the Thai Sangha that are under the Theravada Sangha. So this is the ordination. This ordination scene was not kind of like planned out. The people who came to shoot the film that day happened to be there early enough to catch this ordination, and I said, no, cut this. suttas, because this might come out to be good. And Ajahn just speaks for about a minute and a half. You're not going to be able to read it in time. There's very small subtitles. So I'm going to try to tell you what he says, and I don't know how it's going to work. I wanted people to get one of these televisions about the size of this whiteboard over here. But those televisions are hard to come by. So that was the first scene, and then there'll be some scenes of him walking around his monastery, and then we'll switch over to the international school in Bangkok, where he and I were invited to give a talk on what they label Buddhism and ecology. And what we came to talk about was Buddhism and the ecology of the mind. So we have both ecologies, and people who want to know about trees, and we want them to know more about the ecology of the mind. So he'll give a little talk there, and we'll have a question and answer, again on the video. And some of the people who asked questions were quite emotionally involved in their questions, and I think that comes through. And so that part I really would like you to sit back and appreciate and reflect on what's being said. After that, I'll continue to talk in this kind of informal manner, share some experiences perhaps in my monastic life, and hopefully to be able to transmit some encouragement and inspiration for all of you to work in the direction that you're working on. Because here you are, human beings, with so close to the Dhamma practically your whole life. And to make use of this opportunity, because we Westerners have had to really go around the hard way to be able to have this intimate contact with the teachings, and to be able to get guided in the true and proper way to the path of freedom. So I look at all of you as these people who are very ripe, who are very well prepared to end all the suffering in your life, to be free human beings, to return to what you are, what you've always been, the whole holiness, the process of reality. We'll go back to that in a few minutes. So now, if we can do something with the lights a bit, maybe. We need a technician. Based on that, obviously we have to see it in different conditions. I'll be leaving a copy with Wat Cole, who's been the person who organized this evening. And those of you who would like to see it in your own home or with some friends, you're invited to do so. We still have 25 minutes left, thereabouts. I'm very new to Malaysia. I really don't really know very much about the country. Eric? Yeah? All right. But been hearing, even though I've been on this retreat with 5 other bhikkhus up in the mountains, about the Buddhist situation or the circumstances for Buddhists in Malaysia, and hear about the kind of preferential treatment that the government gives to Malays and Islamic people, which most Chinese Buddhists tell me about with a sense of say, aversion for that. And I tell everybody what I'm about to say now, that because you all have to work so much harder, you're not going to be lazy people. The situation in Malaysia demands you put out more effort. And if you didn't put out like double effort, if you didn't put out like double effort, you would be not able to walk the path of the Buddha in the way that's necessary. You wouldn't have the energy to do what's required of you. So, because the situation in Malaysia is as it is, it's not a disadvantage. It's an advantage. I bet you never thought of it that way. As I said, I don't know if I said it here earlier in the day, I was saying that I'd like to be a real Buddhist practitioner, to really be one who wants to get out from under this terrible predicament of being caught in this wheel of samsara, of being born, aging, getting ill, and dying, and being born, and aging, and getting ill, and dying, born, aging, getting ill, dying, born, aging, on and on and on. This has been our history. If you want to get off of this, then you have to put quite a lot of effort into it. My life as a monk has really demonstrated that. I really saw quite early on, and I was always encouraged, and I think it's one of the strong points of the forest tradition, that one has to use all their effort, all the time. Not only the effort, the physical effort, but the mental effort, and not only just the rational mind, but the intuitive mind, or the spontaneous mind. In other words, using all our resources all the time. Because there is enough time to be free. You don't have to be a bhikkhu. You just have to know how to apply your energies. There's enough time, but there isn't any extra time. There's no time to waste. There's just enough time. It's all set up that way. Each of you have enough time right now to get out and off the wheel. You're not going to believe that, but it's true. And that's part of our predicament. There's a lot of things we don't believe, but that doesn't make it any less true. Very much the situation with the concept of God. I know some Malaysian Buddhists who don't have much foundation in the teaching. They're Buddhists because their father and mother were, and they haven't changed their religion. They just hung into being Buddhists without really knowing what that was really about. But they often are intimidated by say, Christians, for instance, who create a hypothesis that if you don't believe in God, then you're not even religious. They take the assumption that there's a God. And so that this belief system is a belief system. Now people believe in God or don't believe in God, but it's still a belief. But the Buddha, who looked into the world the deepest, he looked around for all whatever there was to see. If there was a God, then he would have told us. He would have us walk the path. Just find God and let God do the rest. Well, it isn't like that because there isn't any God. It's a belief system. And you have to have the mind sharp to be able and confident and really using your energy to see through these kind of things. Be strong and clear and awake. And that's where meditation, which is just a tool, right? It's just a tool, a key, makes us strong, develops confidence, keeps the mind dynamic, so we can simply see the nature of the way things are. So when I say that even if you're elderly right now, there's still time for you to become enlightened, because enlightenment is a matter of knowing the way things are. It's not like getting a PhD, where you have to go to take all these courses. It's simply a matter of knowing what's going on right now in the present. All of you here, as I said right from the beginning, are people who have the merit to both have the interest in Buddhism, to be close to Buddhism, to have the intelligence and the sensitivity to understand Buddhism. You even live in a culture where you have to work harder than other people, other ethnic groups, other races, in order to survive. So, you see yourself from this side, and automatically you're going to recognize that what you want to do, because you've got so much going, is get the best thing you can for yourself. The highest good, whatever that is. And the only reason we don't know what the highest good is that our minds are obscured. We're distracted. We get fooled all the time. We get caught in all these belief systems. We have a lot of doubts. These are just challenges. And because you have all the rest of these things going for you, like I've mentioned, you have a background in Buddhism, you're close to teachings, all the books that you need are available for free. The best teachings that are available. You, as you are right now, are as good as you can be. You can't have anything more going for you than you have right now. So there's no point in waiting for anything else. There's no point in waiting until, in Thailand, women think they need to wait till they get reborn a man. When the men think they have to wait until they get reborn a bhikkhu, when they're 20, and then practice for the next 50 years or whatever. But these are self-imposed conditions. This isn't the reality at all. Why I'm so delighted to be able to come here and talk while I think a lot of you seem to look quite pleased and happy to be here, I'm just as happy because I feel like you're people who are really, really ready to evolve, ready to be who you really are, ready to be people who can live in happiness, people who can be in peace, people who can radiate this peace to their friends and family, people who can lead other people into ways of happiness and peace, goodness and kindness and compassion. All these qualities, I really see all these qualities are the great potential and the possibilities so close for all of you. So for me, it's just to come and kind of encourage you, to remind you of these qualities that you already possess, and to see not to waste any time. There are these books around, there's videos around, there's things for you to keep nourishing you, to practice, to support each other, to come to like the temple here, and to use it as a place where you come and remember who you are and remind yourself of the moment, and also to make experiments in your life, to see yourself as someone who has this rare opportunity, all these factors going for you, but you only have a little bit of a lifespan. These bodies are not made to last very long. Both of us, we've been living in a very kind of rarefied environment where the air is very clean and it's very quiet. So we come down, and we've been in Singapore and Kuala Lumpur, and it's haze. So Venerable Joe is the flu, and I have stomach problems. Because the environment is harsh. We have to live in these harsh environments. So even, of course, in a few days we'll get used to it, but still the body still has to deal with eating food, digesting food, eliminating food, washing, and the process of deterioration, which is called aging, which we all have to face. My Dhamma has been to come into the teaching at relatively late age. It took me until I was 35, 36 before I made a commitment, almost say a lifetime commitment, and as soon as I really had a realization of what this teaching offered. Until now, I'm 54, and so it took me all this time to bring my mind to a place where right now I'm quite happy with the way things are in my life. I'm quite content. I don't want much. I let go of my desires for superficial things. I just keep turning my mind to that which is the best. I always recognized in myself that I was a person who was really very good, a person who was very sensitive. And so I wanted always to find the best thing I could get. I felt like I deserved it. And the same for you. Probably almost everybody in this room keeps precepts. And so you've got this foundation. Without the precepts, it's hopeless, of course. The precepts, and then you have the teaching, you have the opportunity, regardless of political, economic situation, there are 24 hours in a day. You need to meditate at least an hour a day. You've got to find that hour to do it. If it means getting up earlier, or stay up later, or do it during your lunch hour. So one time, somebody came up to Ajahn said to him, Ajahn, I didn't read all these books on meditation, and I read everything about what you said, and everybody is saying, you know, I have to meditate, but I can't meditate, I don't have any time, I'm too busy. So what can I do besides meditate? Ajahn said, we have no time. Do you have time to eat? It's like that. It's not a overstatement. We need to nourish ourselves spiritually just as we need to nourish ourselves physically. This business of our life, about as Ajahn was talking about, it was in terms of duty. What is your duty in life? What are you here to do? What's your potential? And have you reached it yet? What do you have to do to come to it? These are questions to ask yourself and to really fix in your mind and determine in your heart. Determine in your heart. I've had the good fortune of being around many good teachers. And I had the good fortune of being put into some very challenging situations. Somehow I was able to get through it. Even in the early days when we were in England and we lived in a house that was just literally didn't have a roof on it. And you'd be in the basement and there was an old mansion, a manor house, and you could look up from the basement through the 3 stories and through the roof and see the sky. And I was used to California weather. At that time I was living in California, I was freezing all the time. There was no hot water, and the food wasn't very good, and we were just struggling to kind of hang in there. And 25 men, like myself, 24 others, came, attracted to the Dhamma, attracted to this lineage of teaching through the Ajahn tradition, came to help and came to consider whether they would ordain, to train. And of the 25, 23 fell away in 2 or 3 years. And it was only myself and one other monk who just had to do the work, where I had come to a point where we realized that this is what needed to be done. This is where we needed to make our stand in life, or take our posture. And the other monk just robed last year. So guess I'm a ranger. But there has been after that quite difficult phase when things were very uncomfortable and we were working 7-8 hours a day and sitting up meditation most of the night. Go to sleep around 12 and bell would ring at 3. Come down and meditate at 3:30 and have a cup of coffee around 6:30 and go out and build a road. then have our one meal around 10:30. Half-hour rest and back at work. When I was a real estate broker, I was a white-collar worker, so this is all a different thing for me, but I didn't really care. If they wanted me to crawl over the Himalayas naked in the middle of winter, because I really understood the suffering in my life, and because I could appreciate the Buddhist teachings, I just was going to do whatever had to be done. And there were times back 25 years ago when, like you, I came to public talks, sat like you're sitting now and listened, and let the words come into my heart, and the doubts, and wondering, this person's like that, but I don't know that I could be like that. I don't know I could give up all the things that he or she gave up. But I inclined my mind towards the best I could be. And that just led me deeper and deeper into the teachings, and more committed. And the more committed, the more I practiced, the more confident I became. And I did all the different phases of frustration and doubt, but that confidence was always there. There was a refuge. I could always come back to it. And I really made the determination to do the work for myself, not to get caught up in all the other kind of interesting things you can do, and social work and whatever. And so for the first 7 years in England, I didn't go anywhere. I just stayed in one monastery. Occasionally went to houses for a meal. But I didn't travel anywhere. And then I went, that during the 7 years, my father died, and I spent 3 months in the States, and then went to Thailand. And the first 5 years in Thailand, I went nowhere except in 2 monasteries, just a few kilometers from each other. And I always stayed behind the scenes. And so I knew that, particularly because my nature is sort of outgoing, and I really feel a lot of interest in helping other people. I would very easily have become a social worker, I think, after I went through my business phase and travel phase. But I had to let go of that, and even though there was a lot of attraction for that, because I knew that there'd be a time, like right now, right this moment, where I could be of help to the people who I recognize can make the most of what I have to offer. I'm seeing that it's all 10 o'clock. I wonder if we have time to meditate together for 5 minutes or so before we have to end. I think we can end in a bit of a dribble so that people who might have some questions could come up. There's also, we have a flyer. Maybe people can just pick it up here. So everybody can come up before they leave and pick it up on this table. We'll have one moment of eye contact. And then this, as I said, this tape will be available for people to see in their homes. I would be very happy to see people enjoy it and bring their friends over to see it with them, and say a second time or even a third time, so that you make the most use out of it, and also then your friends like it, and you make another copy, and they show it to their friends. So then I found out whether this video work, which takes quite a bit of energy and was a very expensive technology, which is given to us that we can make the best use of it. So now, for the next 5, 6, 7 minutes, I'd like to turn the lights down a little bit, and we just take what you've been listening to, rather than do whatever practice you do with your watching your breath, or I'd like you to take something that you heard tonight, a question, or a perception, a thought, a feeling, and just look into that for the next 5, 6, 7 minutes. Okay? So to close your eyes and try to get yourself sitting straight, alert. Turn your mind's eye directly into the mind. Using your mindfulness and your awareness to penetrate into the truth. This is what makes us very different. We have these reflective minds. We can look right into the truth with our mindfulness and our awareness. Keep your attention on your meditation object. Just let the sound of the voice just wash by. And recognize that this mindfulness awareness is that which knows the truth, which knows the way things are. That aspect of you that's the same energy that opens the heart to enlightenment. Every moment of mindfulness and awareness is a moment of freedom. Every moment of mindfulness awareness is a moment that cuts through the chains of habit, conditioning, belief, the karma of samsara. So just to be awake and aware for one moment is no small thing.
The time is quite late during the meeting, so we would not have a personalized session tonight. Apologize for the time limitation that we have. But And then Ajahn Sumano has something to distribute to you all. So probably you could come up and get a piece of the paper from Aaron, so Aaron can look at you also. Ajahn Sumano says, I'd like you all to, if anyone of you would like to see Ajahn Sumano or have any questions, Ajahn Sumano will be at Mr. Lau's shop house. But I'm not sure where is Mr. Lau's shop house. Yes? Okay, what Vietnam will do is write the address on the whiteboard there. So if anyone of you would like to see Ajahn Sumano, he'll be there for only a day tomorrow. So if you'd like to see him, can you please go to Mr. Lau's shop house? So I would like to, on behalf of the year, we would like to thank Ajahn Sumano for coming here, letting us see the video, and also for sharing with us his experiences. And also, we'd like to thank all of you for coming here tonight. And I hope you have enjoyed the session and have gained or benefited from the session. And I hope to see you more in our Dhamma talk in the future. So, thank you and good night. And may you all have a nice day tomorrow. And good night.